Hello everyone, welcome back to the session. Myself Prashanth. I'm studying in Sri Venkateswara College of Engineering, Bengaluru, in Department of Computer Science. Today I'm going to cover the topic that is Introduction to the Anova, which comes under Mathematics for CS History. Today's agenda is to explain the Anova, introduction and basic principle of the Anova. What is ANOVA and what is the full form of ANOVA? Nothing but analysis of variance. Analysis of variance is a statistical test used to assess the difference between the mean and more of the two groups. At its core, ANOVA allows you simultaneously compare arithmetic means across groups. You can determine whether the difference observed are due to random change or if they reflect genuine meaningful difference. This is nothing but the definition of ANOVA, analysis of variance, which helps to test test and assess the difference between the two means of more than the two groups. What are the different terminologies we used in ANOVA? Nothing but first one is factor. This is another term, the independent variable in your analysis. In one way, ANOVA there is one factor and two whenever it which is include two factors. Factor which is the first terminology which in one way ANOVA it could include one factor and two way ANOVA which is include two factors. Second one is levels. These are different groups or categories within a factor. For example, if the factor is diet, the values might be low fat, medium fat or high fat. This is about levels. Then response variable. This is the dependent variable or the outcome you are measuring. Next, within group variance. This is the variance or spread of the score within each level of your factor. Within the each level of your factor, you can see the within group variance. Next, between group variance. This is a variance or spread of scores between the different levels of your factor. Then grand mean. This is overall mean when you consider the data together the factor level. This is about grand mean. Next one is SS, nothing but sum of squares, treatment sum of squares. This represent the between group variability. It is the sum of the square difference between the group mean and the grand mean. It is the difference between group mean and grand mean. In short, we can say like this: which is the difference between the group mean and the grand mean, which is called as the sum of squares. Next, error sum of squares. This represents the within group variability. It's the sum of the square difference between the each observation and its group mean. It is nothing but sum of the square difference between the each observation and its group mean, which is nothing but the error of squares SS. Okay, next one is total sum of squares. This is the sum of the treatment SS and the error SS. It represents the total variability in the data. The total variability, which is called as the total sum of the squares. To total variability. The next one is degrees of freedom, DF. In shortly, we can name it as DF. The degrees of freedom are the number of the values that have the freedom to vary when computing a statistic. This is about the degrees of freedom. Next one is null hypothesis. This is the hypothesis there is a no difference between the group and means. The name itself shows null. Nothing but in this hypothesis we can represent it by using H naught. H naught which is represent the null hypothesis. This is hypothesis that there is no difference between the group mean. This is nothing but null hypothesis. There are several terminologies in the ANOVA, but I will list it out here some important terminologies I listed out here. Next one I will explain the ANOVA formulas. Which is very important to calculate the F. F nothing but here ANOVA coefficient we will represented as F. F is equal to MST divided by MSE. MST nothing but mean sum of square due to the treatment, and MSE nothing but the mean sum of squares due to error. One is treatment due to treatment, another one is due to error, which is F represent the ANOVA coefficient. Next formula is SST, sum of square totals. This represents the total variability in the data. It is the sum of the squares difference between the each observation and the overall mean. Formulas to calculate sum of square total is SST is equal to summation of yi minus y mean whole square, where yi represent the each individual data point and y mean represent the grand mean, nothing but mean of all observations, which is this SST is equal to summation of yi minus y mean whole square, which is used to calculate the sum of square total, which is one of the important formula in your ANOVA. Next one is sum of square within SSW. To calculate the sum of square within, we will use the formula is equal to summation of yij minus y mean whole square, where yij represent the each individual data point within a group and y mean represent the mean of the group, which is also a very important formula to calculate the sum of square within, which is very important in ANOVA representation. Then again one more important formula is to calculate sum of square between is summation of ni y mean minus y mean whole square. Y mean MENANI, which is a different form, that is nothing but that represent the mean of in group, and Ni represent the number of observation in each group. Then Y mean as it is represent the grand mean. Here sum of square between nothing but this representative variability between the groups. It is in sum of the square difference between the group means and the grand mean multiplied by the number of observation in each group, which represent the formula nothing but SSB is equal to summation of Ni y mean I minus y mean whole square. Last one is degrees of freedom. It is represented in three ways. First one is for within group, second one is between group, then last one is total. The degrees of freedom are the number of values that have the freedom to vary when calculating a statistic. For within groups, DFW is equal to n minus k. For between groups, that is DFB is equal to k minus 1. For total, we have a formula here n minus 1, where n represents the total number of observations and k represents the number of groups. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel.